It's basically a prosthetic mechanical hand.
Okay. Task analysis. This is our FAQ here. The cost of it would be made out of the filament that comes with the 3D printers. So $48 for a roll of it. The aesthetics, bulky, unhuman-like. So you know it's not going to be as smooth as a normal hand. It's going to be kind of like really stable enough to actually hold real objects. The function is to provide amputees with a hand, so that's why it's going to be more stable, so that amputees can use it and actually pick up objects with it. It's human-made by the 3D printer with the PLA filament. The user is for amputees and it's for everyday situations.
There was a question, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just out of curiosity, why would you make it bulky?
It's
Even
bulky.
if you're adding function to that, isn't the first purpose of the prosthetic not only to add function, give function back, but also make it bulky?
Well, the job is to do what it's supposed to do, which is function as a hand. Even if it doesn't look like a hand, it's doing what the hand does. It's the job.
Isn't the purpose of a prosthetic to make it seem more like there's a hand there?
Are we going for looks, or are we going for performance?
What is, I don't know.
It is performance. I think if they lost their hand, they'd like that feeling back.
Let me just clarify a couple things. First of all, this is not going to get into some sort of a roast fest ever, right? If you've got something intelligent to ask, then that's totally fine if it's legitimate. But just to also clarify, this is theirs. This is their aesthetics. This is their function of their project. If someone else had a different one with different goals, then that would be fine. But this is the way that they went about their design.
So this is our new board, and as you can see, it has different functions. The bottom left I found is most similar to ours, as it uses more hinges and more slide joints rather than ball joints or wiring.
This is our research here. We made designs on the Inventor desktop, yeah. And we made designs on the fingers and also the palm. That was for our research. We also found a video here of this kid. He's using this prosthetic hand for just like basic life.
And I would like to note this does not look like a hand to me. It is for function. So this is why we also picked this video. So as you can see, it performs the basic functions such as grasping or clenching.
Is the volume up on the laptop there?
This volume is up there. It might be the smart.
You check Windows volume.
You can pause it while you're doing it if you want.
Click escape. Yeah, very bottom escape.
Go back in that presentation mode.
Walt Disney once said that animation can explain whatever the mind of man can conceive. He was talking about
6-year-old Leon McCarthy, and your hand looks like it's straight out of a science fiction movie.
You've actually become sort of a cyborg. There's the cool factor.
Yeah, it's like a special. It's special instead of different.
Leon has been special since birth. While he was still in the womb, restricted blood flow prevented his hand from developing.
I saw his hand sticking up and there were no fingers on it. And it was hard for my wife. It was hard for me.
2 years ago, his father, Paul, began the search for an inexpensive, functional prosthetic. What he found was this internet video posted by Ivan Owen, an inventor in Washington State.
I've always had this vision of people being able to build their own prosthetic device at home.
Owen and a collaborator in South Africa designed a hand that could be made by a three-dimensional printer.
It's essentially like a hot glue gun. There's plastic that feeds into it. The printer head gets really hot, it liquefies that plastic, and then layer by layer creates an object.
The design relies on wrist movement. Downward motion creates cable tension that closes the fingers, while a move upward opens them. The assembly instructions were posted for free on the internet, so someone like Paul McCarthy in Marblehead, Massachusetts, could print it. He took the idea to his son.
I thought it was a little crazy. He was like, we can print all these fingers and then like clip them all in, and it was a little too much at first.
So as you can see, it clearly made the child very happy, and he's not upset to look like a cyborg. That's also what I took out of it, as in the function is much more important than how it looks.
Each time you saw it,
So for the intellectual property, this is a patent that we researched on Google Patents, and it came up with these two names, George T. Brett and Edward S. Arnoff. Now, the exact description that I'm taking from Google is, it is an object of the invention to provide simple, inexpensive, practical, mechanical massager capable of use in the home, office, automobile, or wherever needed to relieve tensions, muscular spasms, fatigue, and the like, and installable in existing objects such as chairs, tables, pillows, beds, and the like when there is need for the motors imparted by the hand of a trained technician, thereby to provide a beneficial therapeutic effect. So what this definition was is not for the amputee hand, but for how the hinges are used on the hand, the joints. So that is what is patent, and we simply used it in our hand.
These are some notes here. These are from my notebook of what we had of our ideas that we wanted to do for that's the design right down here. We also have some other designs. Like here, this is for the palm. We were trying to decide what kind of design to do for that, and what kind of how it was going to move. And we came to the conclusion that we do it like a door, where it's like a hinge. And since your palm bends the one way, that's basically all you would need is just the hinge part. And if you saw in the video, the hand, it used different wires in it. Basically like tendon, and it would use the different wires to like pull your fingers up, and that's what our tendons are for. And it also, there was a part on the video that would flash your wrist so that you would be able to get that movement from your wrist to your rest of your hand.
So as you see, we saw the video of the young child, and that was pretty much the motivation. Just make it happy, make it memorable, and just to accomplish something. So these are our solution section. It shows our picture of the 3D printed wrist. Now, unfortunately, we do not have the 3D printed hand, but here is our 3D printed drawing on the Autodesk Inventor, as Adam was saying earlier. And it shows that the wrist part would connect down at the end of the palm and have fingers going out and with joints, as he described, like hinges on a door. Because your fingers do not bend backwards, so that is the point of the hinge that we found from the Google patent, to make sure it does not bend backwards.
Here's some more pictures of the Inventor desktop version. These are screenshots. We have a finger over there, which you can see that it uses kind of like the Lego thing, where it has like a male-female part. It goes in and then it fastens together with like a rod. Here's the palm here with the hinge, the two hinges here, and that is up here. This is the big copy that we printed out with the 4 fingers and the palm.
So for the, I believe that it costs about $5 using 3D printed material for the hand. That is not including wire or string that would need to be attached to allow it to move. And I think you could easily sell it for more than $20 because if you look online, professionally done printed hand, prosthetic hand can cost up to $100,000. And this specific one under myoelectric prosthetic, that's the type of prosthetic hand. It costs 18 grand, well, a little over 18 grand. And those are also found in our links. So for the closing, are there any design improvements that would like to be said or asked? If not, I think this project affected me more than most classes because I think it was cool to do something for other than yourself. As in, I do not gain from this personally, and I kind of hope I don't lose a hand, but I feel good being able to attempt to help somebody who might have. How do you feel about it?
I forgot, how many people said that they knew somebody
It was
amputee?
It was one person for 67.5%.
Okay. Alright, cool.
I think the most difficult part is finding time to 3D print this and making sure that it didn't malfunction because I know our one printing was stopped earlier this year. That was pretty much it. And with Mr. Turton's part, the only thing different I could say that we could have done is I think there should have been more checkpoints on this project and not so many checkpoints on insignificant, in my opinion, projects such as writing for Wax News.